When I first seen a Wiwila.
What's a Wiwila?
A Wiwila is
some woman.
No, it's a spring. Wiwila means spring, so they're men who live in a spring. And we were up the creek over here at the grandma's, and we didn't have refrigerators. So what they do is they have a crock pot about this big. That's stuff that everybody fights over. They're collector items. Well, we had those, and those went in the creek next to where the spring is, the cold water. So you could keep your butter and your meat and like that. It had to all be put in bread sacks to seal it because we didn't have plastic. So we went down there to get butter in here. I looked across the creek because I seen something move in here. The grass parted and here a little face appeared about this big. And he was a real old man. And he was watching us. So I was looking at him too. And the other kids seen him and they said, "Wiwila!" And they ran. But he got scared of us. So the weeds closed and he took off running. So we seen him then, and then there's another spot up here where the ground is cold. So where that spring is at, if you find the spring, they're just clues if you're ever out here and looking for good water. You just carry a pipe with you, and you can put it in there, and you can make a water spout. So there's a spot down here where we do that when we get thirsty. So it's ice cold, the ground, and then the spring comes from under, so that's where we would swim. And here I noticed that there was something happening over here, and they're called kid fox plums. They only grow about this high. And the kid fox, that's where they lay. If they're out hunting, they could eat those plums. And they're really sharp, so you don't want to get in there because they'll really scratch you up. Here I noticed something was going on, so I peeked in, and here they were little people, a little family inside there. But they turned and they looked like they just became grass. So the story of how they came to Earth was Medicine Man showed me where the beehive constellation is. He said in that area their sun died out, their proto-sun. So they came down to Earth, and how we got to know about them, and we still do that. We still practice our customs even though we're modern. I never go to the creek after dark because that's when they come out and play.
Are they dangerous?
No, they won't bother you, but they'll paralyze you. So you just can't move. But that's their time when they come out, so we don't disturb them then. And when our hand pump would break when we were kids, we'd have to get water. And I always dreaded. I made sure I was in that creek and out of there before the sun went down, because I always imagined all these little men chasing me and like pulling me in the water. And little nightmares I'd have. So I'd be running with these buckets up the hill as fast as I could. And then another time, and so I seen them there, and another time we were playing hide and seek here, and we play this game, and it's let me see your hand. It's a game that's really old, and we just deciphered it. You go like this, and it's called Catch the Bear. So it's Inca, Ponca, Soto, Dakota, Dase. So this hand goes out. Put that out, okay. And so when you play this, it's Inca, Ponca, Soto, Dakota, Dase. Inca, Ponca, Soto, Dakota, Dase. So we play this, and the last one that has the hand is the bear. So that's the one that we chase the bear. So the bear chases everyone, and whoever it tags becomes it.
All we had was Johnny struck the match, and the match went. I remember that Johnny struck the match, and the match. Y'all remember that? No. West side of Chicago, sorry.
So anyway,
this is thousands of years later, you know.
but what's really amazing is that this game survived for so long because we have the skull of the Inca, which gives us night vision, and the Inca live in Peru, and we're the same people, and they do the same stuff we do, but we came back to the Black Hills. So these four people, this game, Incas, Poncas, Soto, are the ones that became, they're Lakota that went all the way to Canada, and they live in a land where it's smoky. That's what that means, Shoto. It's smoky looking, fog. And Dakota is us, and Dase means whatever. whatever, that's it. And I don't even know if it's a real Lakota word. It might be Mayan or something else, that's it, or French. But
I was just about to ask you about Mayan.
yeah, so anyway, that time we were playing and I went running around the house. And here there was a little man there. And I screamed and he screamed and he went that way and I ran for the door and everyone beat me to the door. So they made us quit playing tag after that. Or they were fair. I didn't have to always be the bear. So they come and play. And then we have little bitty ones too. We have little fairies that are about this big.
I was just about to ask you about that.
Yeah, they're fairies and children are the ones who see them. And as we get older, I guess we probably get attached to material things, or so we lose that eyesight. But they live in the top of the teepee poles. They have a little nest there, and that's where they live. And I have twin boys and a youngest son. My twins are 24 and my youngest son is 21, and they were in a teepee in here. My youngest son said something kept stinging him in the face, so he thought it was a fly. And here he like felt something. So he opened one eye and here he said it was a little man all dressed in little buckskin clothes, clear down to little bitty braids, little moccasins. And he'd pick up hands full of sand and he'd make a face and just throw it at him. So then he turned around and got some and he was doing that to his brother's face. So his brother was flinching like that. So he said he reached over and he said, yeah, and tried to grab him in here. What they do is they turn into a little stick. They're just a little stick and they take off like this. Because I seen them when I was little too. I came back from school, I was about 8 years old, and in our kitchen we had a big cook stove. And my great grandma was, she'd get cold. It was our only heat, so she had a bed in the kitchen. And so I remember I come in from school and I was real tired, so I laid down and my mom had a skillet of fried potatoes. And here, I thought I seen something that was red. There was a little man, but he had a little miniature red vest on. It was real tiny, and he was kind of dressed real fancy. And I remembered seeing some cloth. I think my mom, she'd always give me her cloth fabrics, and I remembered that fabric was gone. I thought, I bet he stole it. And here that little man was standing there and he was eating fried potatoes out of that skillet. And one of these days I'm an artist, I'm going to draw that because I seen it. And so what I did was I opened my eyes real big and here he seen my eyes open and that's what he did. He turned into a little stick and he flew out. So, so I had a real wonderful little child world. Got to see all kinds. We didn't have TV. So all these spirits would come entertain us. And then there's one that's as big as an inch. And that one doctored me. I was real sick. I had an operation and I was real sick. So my back hurted. I laid on, I put my mattress on the floor and I had pink concho earrings on. And here my earring fell off and I remembered really having a bad fever and sweating. And here I kept feeling the wind like an oscillating house fan. And I heard a man singing, but it sounded like he was real far away. And then I'd feel that fan. So I opened my eyes and here on my earring was a little bitty man. And when he'd go like this with his little fan, eagle feathers, he'd make this big wind and he was cooling me off. So the next day I got up, I was well. Nothing wrong with me. Pain was gone. And so I have a lot to be grateful for.